Didn't have to cut me off. Think I like it never happened before we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and I feel so loved. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Sheesh. New Pepe intro. What is going on, you guys? It is Dog Cost Crypto here. Surviving the Island Boys. Boy, were those Island Boys mad. My God, man. That stirred the fucking pot in the Hex community. But if it did, that means there's some truth in there. But I am proud to present the great Dylan from, I would say, Phamous and Phiat team. What's up, Dylan?
What's going on, sir? How's it going?
Very well, man. You are looking very, very well groomed today.
Well, thank you.
He's no longer Dylan. He's Vanilla Ice Dylan.
Oh, he's Vanilla Ice Dylan. Okay.
Yeah. Ice Dylan.
There you go. Yeah.
You guys aren't Island Boys. You guys are Florida boys, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah, I'm a Florida man. Buck over there, he's Aussie. So.
Okay, cool. That's cool, man. Hey, well, welcome you guys. It's been about what, like almost 2 or 3 months now since you guys are last here and stuff. I think we were talking about kind of the launching of E-Fiat basically, and I guess the question on everyone's mind is, you guys have abandoned E-Fiat and it's all over now. Is that the case, or what's going on, man?
Yeah, it's all over, man. It's all going to zero. Yeah, it's all over.
Damn, you heard it here first, guys. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. Right. So can we talk? Let's talk a little bit about that, right? Because obviously, I think it was super successful airdrop. Anyone who sacrificed for Phamous got the free. May I add, free. That's not even the coin you sacked for, but you got it for free as a bonus E-Fiat token, right? And performed pretty well. I would, if I remember correctly, right? And so, what are the future plans for E-Fiat?
Well, I mean, as of right now, it's working on Ethereum. The protocol is live. You're able to borrow and lend a range of different currencies. And, I personally shorted Hex a couple of times. I know a bunch of people that shorted Hex for the fork, and were very successful. I know people that are longing things, people are using it. And there's still a bit of limitation going on just because of the volatility that we've had after the fork and everything like that. But Yeah, I mean, it's working, it's doing its thing. It just takes time to get that user base to where people are actually, willing to take out more risk and utilize it to the maximum. So,
Got it.
and of
So,
course, half this community doesn't know what the fuck to do with it. So, there's that as well. So
I mean, can you talk a little bit about that? Because I mean, I mean, like I've said this already in the past already about like the religion of, I guess, the Hex community was just like it's a one god system. Now it's like a pantheon of gods now. So it's like they've gone from people who just buy and stake and hold, right, and stake coins to like now you can LP, you can really swap all the time. You can long and well soon enough with like I guess Fame's coming out, you guys be able to long and short and stuff and have more of the GMX features and stuff, but. For the most part, I think most people in the Hex community really never used Aave or anything like that, or even Curve or anything like that. But so you guys are really probably doing a real big educational service actually to the community and stuff like that. But I mean, so obviously, I think what we talked last time, right? Maybe Buck can clarify a little bit more on this and stuff. So we talked last time that initially you were going to launch E-Fiat, and it was going to be limited for a while because you needed time in the market and stuff, and then the volatility and stuff, and then. But at what point were you guys going to start increasing the amount that it can actually be used and kind of allow more of a larger like market to participants to actually deposit on the platform?
Yeah, so we already have started to increase that a bit. So it's gone up about 10 times or something like that for most things. As we're still in a highly volatile period, though.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a few people arguing about the future of Hex right now, and where it lies, whether that's on Ethereum and PulseChain or et cetera. But what we're building, if you think about it, you should probably step back and try to think about it holistically.
Right.
We're building a number of things that have different tokens, but I think they ultimately allow people to sort of choose their risk and manage their portfolios better across both Ethereum and PulseChain.
Right.
And in a variety of ways. And the existence of fiat on PulseChain will, in a way, do a lot of that education that you're talking about for us for E-Fiat as well.
Right.
Right. So they're going to exist in both places. Furthermore, once we launch Phamous, which we're now rebranding Fame.io,
Okay.
we're going to have yet another group, cohort of people that are using our products. And depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you may use one or the other. And we're also building a sort of a portfolio management tool that we call Fatty.io, which is sort of our Frankenstein of DBank and Nomics, trying to serve the community better. And then lastly, we're creating a thing called PHUX, which is very timely in that it's a DEX fork of Balancer V2 that will be airdropping to various people, and I won't say exactly who yet, but through a number of airdrops coming very soon, and we'll hopefully be launching on PulseChain very soon because I think we're in need of a DEX. So when you kind of add all those things together, that adds up to a lot of cross-pollination.
Right.
And it's still incredibly early. Everything that we build from a protocol perspective has a fundamental value given to it by the fees that it accrues, right?
Right.
But those aren't the present fees. Those are the fees that are there in the future, right? So the fees today don't really matter, right? They might give you some information about the fees in the future, but they're not actually that. But most people, when they invest, especially retail investors, they tend to just follow the hype.
Right.
And smarter people go against that and go and find the things that are cheaper versus their kind of expected future value of their cash flows. And I think that's probably an important thing to keep in mind. Where are these things going to be when speculation comes back to crypto in a big way? How much are they going to earn then? When things get up to full speed, how much are they going to earn? In the short term, to quote, I think, Buffett and Munger, The market is a voting machine. In the long term, it's a weighing machine. So what that means is right now, everybody's voting going, hey, PulseChain's the new shiny thing. I want to go over there and play with that.
Right.
Right. Okay. So you can see distortions in price, when all the movement goes from one place to the other. Right. But what's actually underpinning the value of all of our protocols is those future fees. And that's different than most of crypto.
Which is like a real on-chain business, basically, which is a pretty new thing in crypto, basically. It's usually just inflation
policies. But it's not a business.
Yeah.
But it's not a business, to be clear. It's just code and a protocol. But most people just don't understand that, and they just want to go wherever the hype is, and that's why people consistently lose money in crypto.
Right.
They go and they buy whatever the thing everybody's talking about, and are constant exit liquidity. I saw this guy talking about, like, I've been in crypto for 7 years.
Oh,
and
yes.
You see this one?
Oh, bro, who hasn't seen it, dude? Like, I was like, Jesus Christ. I didn't even like the post. I was like, my God, bro, that is some sad shit, dude.
But that doesn't surprise me, because there's a good chunk of people. I'm going to guess maybe 70% of people in crypto who will lose money over the long term just because they do really foolish, stupid things repeatedly, again and again and again. And one of those things,
I think you're being a little nice, but might be a little higher than that. It might be 80.
it might be, honestly. And this is even people that are fairly long term, but they just repeatedly show the same pattern of mistakes. One of which is, chasing whatever's hot at the moment.
Right. But we can also say that about a lot of VCs and stuff, because it's sort of like VC, I will say, there is like these smart retail and smart VCs, right? But you do have a lot of the so-called smart VCs also investing like dumbasses during the bull market as well. Except they just have the money to keep fucking investing. So because what I've noticed is like some of all the top guys and shit, like A16 Capital and stuff, and Andreessen Horowitz, it's just like lose, and like they'll buy during the bull market, during the top, it crashes, and just keep funneling more cash. So they just never stop buying, basically. And
there's a good reason for that. So the VC is a business.
Yeah.
And their job is basically to go out, whatever the year is anyway, and go, basically find investments for you.
Yep.
And their job is to go raise money from, investors, basically. That's what they do. And this is called a poor vintage effect. You can have a very good VC who, if you invest in the wrong year, you're going to do terribly. Right. It's not really the VC's fault. It's actually your fault. if you're investing in the
right, because they make commissions and fees, so it's like, well, if you want to give me if you want to give me money, of course, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, from the outset, it does seem crazy, because you're just like, because I see the so-called smart retail make like, what the fuck are they doing right now? But I totally get it, because when everyone wants to use, I mean, even let's be for real, like when the products are hot, I mean, everyone's coming, you're the superstar during the bull market. You build during a bear, and everyone and their mom wants to be your friend, or wants to buy your coin, or wants to be in your DAO or whatever, right? And that's like how cyclical. I mean, that's how it works, the Merson cycle. I mean, shit. We just passed the, I guess officially now it's money go burr in the government with the spending bill or the debt ceiling now. But I'm still looking for some of the details on that to see if they did allow unlimited spending till 25, but I don't think so. But I'll have to double check. Oh, did we lose Buck?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I heard they kicked the can 13 months down the road or something like that. So
got you.
I think something like that. It'll be back. We have this debt ceiling debate every few years. It's really just about how politicians parse out who gets what. There's a negotiation.
Seems like they have it every election cycle or something like this. Or am I mistaken?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean,
they have to decide how they're going to basically, they have to raise it. They don't have a choice. Austerity is not realistic. But then it becomes a political negotiation of who gets what. So all your politicians get together and go, hey, you should be sending more money to us farmers, or you should be sending more money to us, woke college students. It becomes this sort of thing, and there's a lot of political engineering that goes into it. But realistically, there's maybe two guys in Washington that don't want to raise the ceiling, and they're both kind of insane. So, yeah, like it's gonna happen. It's just how,
I mean, I was just shocked that like Jerome Powell was like literally told Congress twice, like, "Yo, don't play around with this. Just raise it and don't close the government because like I don't think we can print our way out of it if you close it." And that was pretty surprising just hearing that come out of Jerome Powell's mouth. And so I was like, "Wow, interesting."
Yeah, he doesn't want the headache of that. It's sort of counter to what he's trying to achieve at the moment.
I mean, do you think he's done a good job? I mean, obviously, they should have been raising rates a long time ago, but like, what do you, I mean, because you work in the traditional space and stuff like that, right? And you have a background in that. I mean, what do you think about what's been going on with the interest rate hike increases and stuff? Because like, it looks like we're having two more increases.
So yeah, obviously they were late to the party. They should have gotten there sooner. The inflation isn't really their fault.
Yeah.
But their sole response to it is their fault. So they had very low unemployment, but they decided to hold off for a very long time anyway. This is part of the whole COVID thing, right? So, they decided it was their job to basically make sure nobody was directly punished. So we threw free money at everybody fiscally, and then also they brought interest rates down to zero. I mean, I won't go into what I think about that whole thing, but it's the whole thing was pretty mishandled by governments globally speaking everywhere, and we're paying the repercussions of that currently. That's the hangover. When you do these extraordinary policy things, there's always an impact and a lagged one,
right?
And in a sense, you pick winners, right?
Yeah.
So the big winners of COVID were basically asset owners, wealthy people.
Yeah.
Right.
And hand
what did
sanitizer.
They sent Dylan like what, $1,000? How much did you get?
Yeah, I got $1,200 for a stimulus check. Yeah. And
when was that?
So you feel pretty good.
What was that? Early 2020.
You feel pretty good about that.
That was April of 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much money did Elon Musk make, do you think, in the appreciation of his stock?
What about Bezos?
Yeah, how much? Yeah, or Bezos. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But that's part of the thing is most people don't understand this stuff because they just sort of think that hey, we should just bail everybody out. That'd be great. But you can do that, but you're gonna fuck somebody, and that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at the homeless rise in major cities across the United States, right? And these areas of just drug-ridden streets and stuff in metropolitan areas. It's just
you
fucked.
You can thank the Chinese in the cartel for that.
Oh yeah, the fentanyl and the horse tranquilizer, whatever the hell they're doing.
I mean, I just literally. Go ahead.
They're just providing the supply. They didn't provide the demand. Something else.
That's true.
The demand.
But that stuff is demand already. I mean, you take it, you're hooked on it. I mean, like, what is it, 50 times stronger than morphine? I mean, Jesus Christ, that is insane, dude. But just say no. What was the old Dave Chappelle shit? Just say no, you guys. But that's terrible. I mean, it's like the opium. I mean, like it's sort of like a covert little like opium war attack, basically. Effectively, is what it is, right? But they're spiking that stuff in everything, basically, right now. I mean, like I just got a call from like my uncle called me the other day and stuff. Just not a family friend, but just somebody we kind of knew and stuff. Two people like overdosed over the last weekend. Just crazy, and they weren't drug addicts or anything. They just like. They somehow came in contact with it and then just like they overdosed. Crazy, just crazy, dude.
I'm gonna have to send Dylan some cocaine then.
We boost his immune system up a little bit. Yeah, he's.
Jesus Christ.
But it's kind of crazy and stuff like that. I mean, and then the epidemic of Bud Light across the entire Hex ecosystem is quite insane. The Island Boys are winning, right? But I mean, I'd love to hear your take on this, right? I mean, obviously, look, PulseChain launched right perfectly. Nothing went wrong. Everything went perfect. Flawless. And I will. Okay, before we really get into this, I want to say one thing. I got to give you guys some flowers because you guys have been like some of the only guys to actually properly launch anything. If I'm being honest, you guys launch E-Fiat extremely well, Fiat as well, and obviously this is kind of like you guys have a very good track record of launching and doing stuff pretty well, right? And I know most projects, most people sacrifice for or that weren't the official pantheon, right? Haven't launched anything. I haven't seen much of a demo for anything, and no one's saying anything because obviously no one wants to FUD their bags, of course, right? Of course, right? That's against the law, haram. Right.
So thanks for that. And, we intend to keep that reputation.
Right.
And in defense of, the other guys, there's good reasons to hold back, I think.
The volatility, right?
Yeah, that's one thing. But there's other things you can think about too. But we will be launching rather swiftly PHUX, potentially late this week. Early next week, potentially, if I can. I'm telling the guys to do this as fast as possible. And we're going to start airdropping that very soon to people. We are going to probably look to launch Fiat, well, we got to kind of wait for PulseX to be fixed.
Yeah.
Because PulseX is our oracle.
Nothing's wrong with it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but why do you want to get PHUX out so fast, Buck?
Yeah, Buck, let me know. Yeah, for real. Because right now, as far as I've seen, PulseX is working flawlessly.
Yeah. Well, if you enjoy providing LP, you might enjoy providing LP on PHUX. It's got an interesting mechanism where it actually shares revenue with LP providers.
Bro, this
which is novel on PulseChain.
Yo. Buck, I gotta stop you right now, man. Look. We're all communists here, right? We're all Marxists and shit. You need to stop with this fucking it should be profit for every
bags.
It's our bags, you guys, not your bag. It's our bags,
It's for the greater good, Buck. That's why we're not getting paid.
Kim Jong Richard, I like it. Yeah.
Kim Jong Richard, what?
Classic.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so we'll be launching that very soon. We're going to get it audited, which is another thing that we like to do. We like to audit the things we do. That's a discipline that we have. And we'll be launching Fiat and Fame kind of, within kind of 45 days, I would imagine.
Sheesh. But there we go.
Yeah. And then that's a pretty ambitious schedule, and we're improving Fatty every day as well.
Yeah.
So we're here to win.
I will say one thing with Fatty. I was having trouble on some devices bringing up the website for some reason. I don't know why, but no. I don't know. I'll talk to Dylan about that later and stuff like that. But
just DM it to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I mean,
go ahead.
Were you
do it on mobile?
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah, it was on mobile actually. It was on mobile and on a laptop, basically.
Okay. We've just made an update that allows you to log in with an email. So if you're using mobile, my suggestion is to add a burner email to your account, and then because then you don't have to log in via MetaMask on your phone, which probably doesn't work very well.
Got
it. We're getting there. That's an ambitious little piece of work we're doing as well. But yeah, we're doing a lot, and we know people appreciate it because I get very nice DMs from people every day, and no nasty DMs ever. So I intend to keep it that way if I can.
Well, Buck, so. I sacrificed $50 in your project, bro, and I need a direct contact with you, bro. Come on.
He needs the white glove. Buck. He needs to turn left.
Yeah. Man, this is a very silly comment I just saw. I sold all my e-hex for Pulse Doge. My God, bro. God damn, son. Shit a Pepe for that. That's fuck L, bro.
Did it? Hold on a second.
Sheesh. Well, that's one way to do it.
didn't PulseChain end up not being supported on Ethereum anymore? And basically rug,
Hey.
or I'm
What's a
sorry,
what's a rug between friends? You know?
there,
No, I mean, it's got fucking Pulse in the name. Why should it continue to be a thing on Ethereum?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Actually, what are we talking about? Yeah, nothing should be on Ethereum at all.
No. I mean, things should be on Ethereum, but like if the thing's called Pulse this, then
Right.
I don't
yes.
think the Ethereum version of it is intended.
No, Buck. We need to go crazy on that. Everything on Ethereum should not exist on Ethereum. Buck, when are we going to find out a way to shut down Ethereum? Like, I'm sick and tired of Ethereum. Like,
You know, what's funny is back then when Richard was really confident about Pulse, he said, if Ethereum doesn't comply, we can just clog their network through the bridge. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
I remember that.
our bridge was I don't think our bridge can handle that sort of mass in DDoS, I guess you could say.
my God, man. I mean, okay, so let me hear your thoughts on this, right? Because this is going to come up at some point, right? Like, obviously, right? Like, you guys wouldn't have launched E-Fiat if you thought the Ethereum side was basically going to die, right? But where do you guys stand? Like, do you guys just hate E-Hex? Is it over for Hex?
Dylan and I disagree. Dylan and I disagree on this. So
what?
You do, yes.
Yeah.
How does Dylan still have his job? What the fuck?
I mean, I ask myself this question every day.
We like to disagree about.
There's like basically no qualified people in the Hex community that like aren't already felons or something like that want to do this job. So Dylan gets it by default.
Fuck yeah, dude! Shout out to Dylan, bro.
I got the monopoly on this for now.
No, and to give Dylan some flowers, dude, Dylan's a smart guy, bros. You guys don't be fading Dylan. Dylan's a smart dude.
Yeah, don't fade the Zoomers. The Zoomers always win.
So what is it literally because you are a Zoomer that you're making that joke all the time? Because I notice you say it a lot. Okay, got it.
Yes, it's ironic, but it's also not ironic. Like, hey.
I will say older Zoomers are a lot more tech savvy than millennials, right? And obviously light years ahead of the boomers and the Xers for sure. But I also found like younger Zoomers are pretty retarded as well. Like, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I digress and stuff. Yeah. So we were yeah. Please.
Yeah. So Buck and I disagree about this.
Okay.
I tend to think that EHEX won't have as well performance-wise as PX, right? But I still do think that it is valuable that Hex, lives on Ethereum, because that's where all the value lies, right? That's where all of the real whales, on Ethereum, on Bitcoin. They're sitting on Aave. You can see them.
Yep.
They have billions of dollars in TVL sitting there. They take out loans all the time. They buy things when they're bored. They like to buy art when it's the bull market, and they like to blow money all the time, right? So distancing yourself from all that stuff is probably not the best idea. But PulseChain was built originally for Hex, right?
Yeah.
So
no. Okay, wrong. It was built for Pulse, sir. It was built for shitcoins. It was built for memes, bro. It was built for NFTs.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Maybe. But, yeah, no.
I will tell you that is going to be the next. Like, watch. Let's see. Let's give it a year and a quarter. A year and a quarter. That'll be the main discussion right now. That fucking Hex is bullshit. Like, because watch. We went from like hating eHex to pHex is the god token. And then eventually it's gonna be the PulseChain versus the pHex guys. Fuck Hex. It's all PulseChain, bro. I mean, literally, you can see it's the retard cycle, bro.
I have been trying to buy pHex. Please, yes. If you don't like pHex, sell it all. Please, God, sell all of your pHex. I have been trying to buy pHex. So, but yeah, PulseChain was built for Hex, right? I think pHex will naturally, succeed and outperform eHex. I don't think eHex is just going to go to zero or be null and void, right? But I do think pHex will outperform. I think pHex will do better than PulseChain. I think pHex will do better than PulseX, possibly. So
If the
Yeah,
community can get their
that's what I'm
if
saying.
if the community can get their act together, because they've the I will say this as Hex Jesus, the community has sort of forgotten how to use Hex basically already. No one's really outside of maybe some guys doing some monthly stakes. No one's really been making any stakes at all or doing anything. Mostly emergency unstakes on both sides. Like I've seen people emergency unstake on the P Hex side just because they just want some cash, I guess, or whatever, right? I
Well,
mean,
think
like
about it.
you know,
It's an extreme, uncertain time that everyone's in the Hex ecosystem at the
right,
moment, right?
right,
Like nobody knows what the fuck's gonna happen. There was just a bug on PulseX. That could just alone just cause people to panic. Not to mention the volatility that they're having on both of the hexes, right? EHEX made a new low. PX, if you want to take into account what Hex has done in the past, PHEX is low value as well, right?
right.
PulseX is below sack rate. PulseChain is getting close to going below sack rate for just the 10,000 to 1, right?
Right, right.
A lot of the bigger guys are still up massively. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are scared, and rightfully so. They start emergency unstaking. Like it's just natural, right? It's a time of uncertainty, so is what it is.
So that's your side, Dylan. So let's hear Bucks. So because obviously you guys differ somewhat, so I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so I could talk about this for a very long time, but I'll try to just give the kind of most important reasons.
Sure.
And I guess before I say anything, I'll point this out because otherwise people will get angry with me. I've maybe sold over 100 million EHEX in the past few weeks.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah.
No. Well, and I also want to say one
So
point as well. Like
yeah,
that's okay because that's your stuff. It's just I just don't like the
yeah.
flooding campaigns that people be doing.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, people will point out, oh, he's a hypocrite. He did this. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to say it up front. And then there's a lot of self-interest in these people that say PHEX only.
Right.
And I guess I anticipated that to an extent. And you think about it psychologically, if I'm a PHEX holder,
Right.
and I convince everybody to buy that PHEX is the only one, I'm effectively 2xing my bag.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
At the expense of these other guys. So you have to be very careful when you listen to people. They're all conflicted basically, and like most people just talk their book, whatever is good for them, right? You see it again and again. Oh hey,
Self-interest, man.
buy
What are you talking about?
buy Pepe, buy this. I think this one's the next 10,000 X gem. It's like that all that means is that guy fucking bought this thing before you did, right? So just whenever people have these arguments, actually make them make an argument, right? Not a religious sermon about what's right or wrong, but actually make them make an argument. Now, in my mind, the way I see PulseChain is as a tumor on the ass of Ethereum. It is a tumor that is feeding off of Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
And this has nothing to do with our bags, what's good for Dylan or me or you. It's just let's try to step out of our bodies. So as PulseChain eats, from Ethereum, it grows and grows and grows.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you guys that want to say it's all about PulseChain are basically seeding the most valuable network on the planet and our primary source of food. We want to have as much connectivity as possible to Ethereum,
right?
Because that's where our growth is going to come from. And having speculative value come into PulseChain from Ethereum is essential. Having people be able to use PulseChain as a proxy for Ethereum, potentially by buying things on PulseChain that are wrapped over, or by buying PRC20s or other things that may start to have this derivative play, we may actually really grow our bags a ton and have way more success. And this is really a lot more important than, like I own this thing, therefore we should only support that one, right? Because if we give up on Ethereum, we're just another useless L1.
Yeah, we're a backwater.
Right?
We're a backwater fucking ecosystem, a backwater island. the Island Boys.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So what we want is actually to be symbiotic with Ethereum in a major way, and we don't want to cede territory that we've gained on Ethereum as a community either, right? There's countries that do this. They switch off from the rest of the world and go, we're going to go our own way. Let's talk about them. There's North Korea. There's Venezuela. There's Kyrgyzstan, right? Now there's other countries that do the opposite. They go, we're going to invite the world. We're going to have lots of connectivity. We're going to build airports and infrastructure. And we're going to be,
Singapore.
important launch points. Yeah. Singapore, Dubai, Taiwan, right? Hong Kong.
Don't say Taiwan, bro. Not on the stream.
Chinese Taipei.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want your sponsors to cancel you.
Hey, thank you, man. My credit score was low enough, bro. Trust.
But that's kind of the crux of it. We're way too young and infant to really survive on our own.
Right.
We're way better when we're highly connected, and I think that's the play. And it has nothing to do with any of the other nonsense that people really talk about.
Right. And I think that's the really great way to look at it, because you're not even looking in terms of like which side. You're just like, how can we just onboard the most amount of people? Because that's really what it is. It's like, it's the size of the network, squared or whatever is the value of it or whatever. Right. And yeah, I mean, now you are, and this is actually kind of people would be like shocked to hear.
It's not just that. It's not just that though. Because a lot of people will go, oh, but I'm going to onboard people on PulseChain.
Right.
That's great. Your friends are broke, right? But you should go do that.
Yeah.
Right. But the guys that actually have money, they're on Ethereum, right? And we want them to basically look at Ethereum and go, Ethereum market cap, it sure is heavy, because $200 billion, right?
Yeah.
Here's this PulseChain thing, it's 1/100th of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's growing on my ass.
The tumor joke.
I should get some exposure to that, because that's growing faster than the rest of me.
I should start taking a look at this thing. Fuck.
You're trying to make it sound like a fucking you're making some of this shit sound like a hemorrhoid now.
Yeah. It starts out as a hemorrhoid,
okay,
and then but eventually it gets to like be like a Siamese twin or something else,
right.
Where it's got its own head and mouth and can do all these things, and maybe eventually it actually kills off the host. I don't know,
right?
But that's what we should be playing for, or grows bigger than the host, right? So yeah, maybe eventually we'll be a fully functional adolescent tumor on the backside of Ethereum. But that's how we win, honestly. And all these people that they think they're doing the right thing. They think they're being smart because they're trying to be Team PulseChain. But in reality, it is all about that connectivity, especially to the rich people. And yeah, it's great. We're going to onboard some poor people that can't afford ETH gas. That's cool too. But that's not the play. The play is to basically take TVL from Ethereum as it grows.
Right.
They will continue to grow, but not as fast as we will. People will come over to us because we're growing faster.
Right.
That's it.
And it's sort of like the teeter-totter. The fat guy jumps on the skinny African kid on the other side, and then we just shoot up, right? So, because
That's right.
because if we look right now, right? What are we like $1.3 trillion market cap right now, and like half of that is basically just Ethereum and Bitcoin. I think it's maybe even a little more combined or whatever. And we're probably the last bull market we topped out at 3.3 trillion, and this next one, if we're lucky, maybe we make a double at most and stuff. So maybe we're at 6 trillion. If this cycle is gangster because they print all the money, want to destroy every currency on the planet, maybe we go to 10 trillion. But if that's the case right now, that means Ethereum probably 6 to 8x's in price from this point from here. So we're having either $8,000 Ethereum conservatively to maybe if we're lucky we get 14 or 25,000
That'd be fantastic. That'd be a great success.
That'd be great success. And then obviously a shred of that money goes into the PulseChain ecosystem, and that's fucking gangster amounts of growth, basically.
Yep, that's right. Spot on.
Yeah, no, we're agreeing on all this. So I don't even really get the not that we meet, not like any of us had any controversy with each other or something, but it's just like, this is why like I'm just like shocked that everyone else is doing all this stupid shit. That it's maybe some low IQ shit, or just they're just 100% about themselves, which is probably what it is though. But it's like everyone is rowing in the wrong direction instead of us rowing in the right direction. Trying to like, it's like we're the small new chain, so we should be trying to like do everything we can, rowing in the right direction to try to like grow this thing, versus all the fucking retarded infighting that everyone's doing right now.
Yeah, so some of the arguments, or like one of the main arguments, is just consolidation of buying for PHEX, right? That's pretty much the main argument that I've been seeing. And then like Buck said earlier, where oh well, hey, I'm going to onboard people, and I'm going to onboard them on a Pulse, right? That's pretty much the two main arguments that I've been seeing and stuff like that. But I just tend to think that with the tools that PulseChain has, the tools that PulseChain has, Hex on Pulse will probably do very well. And E-Fiat, or I'm sorry, E-Hex will just be dragged along. But that's what I think about that.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the middle there. I mean, the same thing too. I mean, Ethereum is now. I know everyone doesn't believe that Ethereum will ever get an upgrade and shit, but I will say this: that there is probably like an 8x reduction in gas fees coming to Ethereum, probably like late next year. That's coming.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's coming and stuff. That's not like even any bullshit. It's already done already, and I think it goes live on another chain in about like a month and some change. After some market testing there, I mean, pretty much they'll bring it over to Ethereum sometime in 2024. So, and this is an upgrade that we can even bring out the PulseChain, because it's the same fucking thing, because it works on ETH 2.0 code and everything. So it's like it'll 8x increase PulseChain fees down as well. So hopefully we enact that before Ethereum does, because that'd be some bullshit if Ethereum gets the upgrade. If we're like fucking getting it afterwards, I'd be like, wow, bros, dang, son. But because that's supposed to be one of the superpowers that we have at PulseChain, is that we can copy pasta any upgrade, basically, right? Because we're a fast little thin ship and shit versus these tankers, basically. But
yeah, and for devil's advocate, it's also a bit scary, because if there is a critical vulnerability on Ethereum, PulseChain is probably the last to know. But hey, hopefully nothing is found in the Ethereum code, and we'll be fine. But
right.
Hey.
But I will say this though, with now, I get people telling me this all the time. It's like it's all about the code and everything, right? And everything. But if you really look at crypto as a whole, right, it's just about. I know no one wants to call it corporations and stuff. Even I know I said it earlier. It's like a business and stuff, and everyone's like, oh no, Miguel, don't say that. But it's a good explanation for what it is, right? These fucking protocols, these DAOs and stuff, essentially have fucking figureheads, which are CEOs, even though no one's saying that. But that's what it fucking is. Most people in crypto are fucking orangutan, chimpanzee, bonobo, apes, essentially, right? And we like there to be a fucking alpha of a project or a team of fucking chimpanzees running it, right? And if if something were to happen to Vitalik or any of these other things, token do bad, basically, or token real scared at that point, right? So, but the beauty of it is like when you do have a central figure king, right? Richard, if he says, "Oh, this is what we're doing," then we have a direct path, and then we can work, and then the thing survives. Versus, if that wasn't the case and stuff like that, you could actually see something pretty much die if they didn't have the figurehead, and then some critical vulnerability. And then you saw that with it's just people want to know that there's a direction we're going in or something like that, and it's like everything's okay. Everyone just wants someone to say, "Hey, all right, plebeo, everything's okay. We're going this way. Okay, cool. We got a plan. You promise you promise we're gonna get 100x. We're gonna get 100x gains, bro. We just got to do one little upgrade, and we go this way, and then we're okay. As long as you promise, man. Fuck yeah, let's go, bro. And then that's the direction, right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I think I would actually be worried if we don't just do exactly what Ethereum does. And I think I've been saying for a while now that it's very fortunate that we didn't try to build our own thing from scratch, or do do the the BESC fork, because you have to have very strong confidence in your team and your ability to kind of manage that stuff. Ethereum guys are probably the best in the world at what they do, right? You'd imagine. Why not just use their stuff? Like, the path to victory for us is not us trying to out-engineer the Ethereum devs. Right. And I think this little snafu with PulseX is probably proof that, we should avoid getting too creative, and probably go with what works. And we can be victorious, as I said, just being this thing that grows off of Ethereum and has, more potential upside, and therefore, more people getting interested in it from a speculation standpoint.
Right.
That can be our path to victory. And like, to me, that's a lot easier than trying to say, oh, we're going to out-engineer, out-dev the core ETH team.
Right, like the Apple, Microsoft, or whatever, right? Yeah.
It's not necessary. We will win just by growing it from a return perspective way faster than Ethereum. So if Ethereum does a 6x or an 8x, what you were kind of saying could be a potential, upside for ETH in the bull market. And I would say that that's a pretty, good optimistic scenario for ETH.
Yeah.
What does that mean for PulseChain? I think you could probably look at our upside potential, which, might be to grow to be similar to as, Binance Chain is. That might be 40, 50, 60x, right? If Ethereum can grow 6x, like, you can multiply that 40, 50, 60x by that number, right? And you start to get some pretty good numbers. Not 10,000x, but you can get 100x.
What do you mean there's no 10,000x?
Okay, there is a 10,000x. Just keep believing that, guys. That's fine.
I don't know, but I mean, I was agreeing with you this whole time, Buck. But the minute you said no 10,000x, wait, hold up, wait, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Sir? No.
Yeah.
Do you think that's largely because there's no real good staking mechanics that are naturalistic, or just because it's just a bigger thing and stuff like that, and more people are liquid?
No.
So go ahead.
It's just not mathematically feasible, right? Like, we can't grow that much without some very extraordinary things happen. Like, we're at $1 billion valuation. So what's a 10,000x? 10 trillion?
So can't we dream?
I mean, you can dream, but that's not happening overnight.
Right.
Yeah.
10 trillion. 10
hope
trillion.
don't make me money.
10 trillion is approximately the market cap of all of gold, right? So you're going to tell me PulseChain is going to be bigger than gold overnight?
Yes, of course.
Well, no, not overnight, Buck. Just 3 years. That's all.
Yeah, maybe a year. I don't know. It's just hard. That's like, you look at the GDP of Russia is like 1.5 trillion.
Right.
So we're gonna have 5-6 times the GDP of the world's biggest energy and precious mineral exporter.
Right.
Like, the GDP of Australia is roughly $1 trillion. So you're gonna tell me PulseChain is gonna be worth 10 Australias?
Dude, I'm just telling you, man. Don't fade the Florida boys. That's all I'm saying.
What's the GDP of Florida? I can Google that.
That's probably. I mean, well,
I have no idea. Maybe
GDP of Florida, approximately $1 trillion. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
okay, there you go.
So PulseChain's gonna be worth. Go outside, look around Miami, look at all those models, and hot
those hoes ain't worth
actors.
shit.
Hey, we're getting there. We got Twitter models. Hey, we're getting there. Okay, just takes a little time.
So, like, go outside Miami, go look at all those hot models and people that live there, all those buildings, all those skyscrapers, and you're gonna tell me you're and the entire state of Florida, like Tiger Woods and all these fucking golfers and all these people that live there and work there. You're gonna tell me PulseChain's gonna be as big as 10 Floridas?
Yes,
in a year, or 2 or 3.
But look, obviously I've got to like enlighten you with vision here and stuff a little bit, right? We have to see a little bit more ahead of time, right? Okay, I'm with you on that. It's not going to take a year. It might be a year and a month or something like that, but we will get there. Like, dude, I can't even do it with a straight face. I'm trying so hard. Holy shit!
Hey, Buck, why not a billion X? Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not a
$1,000?
billionaire? Why not a billion X? Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Why just stop at 10,000?
In all fairness,
Yeah,
it's to the low. It's
ten
from
to the
it's
fifth is
the X is
nothing.
just from the low, basically. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that all jokes aside, but
Okay, all right. Well, we can do that one too. So
Yeah.
it's worth five. Then it's worth 5 Floridas.
well, wait. Yo, the Saudis ain't done selling yet. All right, the Saudis are coming in to save us right now. We need the Saudis to dump and a couple other whales to lower the pulse price low enough and stuff. And I think we could get that 10,000 X. Maybe we can get to one Florida. Maybe one Florida would be pretty cool.
Yeah, let's
You
go to.
you are right though. Yeah, it helps if we go down first.
Right.
Yeah, let's go to.
That's true.
Let's go to what? Maybe $90 million market cap, and then we can talk about 10,000 X. Really easy, I think.
So what's the because I don't have it right in front of me right now, but what's the PHEX price? Is it still like 1.5 cents, right?
It is 1.5 cents.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just say as an example, right? Because I'm just trying to enlighten Buck here in terms of the possibility of Florida man, right? So if for an example, right, I think what is the price? What is the price of PulseChain right now? The price of PulseChain is what?
03s or I'm sorry, 3 zeros 1 2.
1 2. Okay, so 1 2. Okay, so 12. So if let's just say it went to 2, right? Let's just say it dropped into 80%, right? What would that drag down the price of what PHEX down to what, like penny? Because I mean, I think penny's really. I don't think it goes below penny, but like maybe it does go. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, if it was that gangster of a drop, because obviously liquidity pools and all that bullshit.
Yeah, that's interesting. Since the liquidity is so thick at the moment, it's kind of hard to move the ratios around with stables at the moment, right?
Right.
But as the liquidity starts to become worth less and the prices, like the price of Pulse starts dropping, price of PulseX starts dropping, it'll be easier to find their real ratios versus their respective currencies, right? So,
and what you're talking about is because the prices are dropping, then everything else relative is dropping as well, and then it becomes all thinner. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So when you're speaking in terms of holding a stable, okay, so like right now, stablecoin in the ecosystem doesn't do much, right? Like if you have I don't know, like 100 grand, like you move the market around, I don't know, like 1 to 2% if you're just buying one thing, right? Whereas as the prices fall, and these liquidity pools of Hex to Pulse or Pulse to PulseX, as you start using these stable coins to buy individual currencies, you'll be able to push those ratios between the respective currencies a lot easier because your stable coin does more as these coins are worth less, right? So if we drop I don't know 50% from here, you'll be at the DAI pool would be maybe don't quote me on this math, but maybe 7.5 million, and then however much Pulse it would be. So 100 grand does a lot more to these pools than it used to do, where it's at 9 million now, right? So you'd get what, like 3% slippage or something like this with 100 grand, if I'm not mistaken. And this is napkin math and shit, like off the top of my head. But
right.
The point is, as these things start to drop, you'll probably see you might see PHEX kind of be relatively stable, although it still drops. Maybe it doesn't drop as much because we still don't really know the real value of PulseChain at the moment.
Right.
But we kind of have a rough idea of what Hex should be worth at the moment, right? Just because it's been around for so long. As these prices fall, the stable coins that you do have or that you do inject, they'll do a lot more to these ratios than they are right now. Right now, they're extremely thick, and it's very hard to move the ratios between the currencies. But like I'll say it again, as the prices drop, it'll be much easier to move them around with stable coins. So that's what I have to say about that.
So can we dump enough E-Hex to support the price of PHEX from the Island Boys? Do you think that's possible?
Can we dump the price of E-Hex to affect the price of PHEX? Is that what you just asked?
No, I was just making a joke in terms of like, can we? Is there more E-Hex to dump to support the price of PHEX?
There's not really much liquidity left on fucking Ethereum. So yeah, good luck with that.
Anyway,
Uh,
no, all jokes aside and stuff like that. I mean, it is interesting to speculate on some of this stuff, but
yeah.
I mean, shoot. I mean, let's ask you the questions. How much further do you think we have to go down? Another 50%, another 20%, or we're at the bottom now because government's about to print money and we're launching now?
I mean, I'm in stables. I sold my Pulse. I still hold PX. I'm not selling that. I'm gonna keep that. I'm looking to buy Pulse or PX at cheap prices. I hope to get lucky, but I'm fine with not buying. Right? It is what it is. I'll hold these stables, and if I see something that's cheap, I'll take advantage of it. I have no idea how low we're gonna go. It's kind of a crapshoot.
Right.
Buck mentioned something earlier. It'd be nice to have these whales be below their sack rate, right? So like the top guy, for him to be negative, that would be ideal. That would be a great rate. That'd be a great place to start buying, right? But if we get there, I have no idea.
Interesting. Yeah, it would be interesting if they were down. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would that be, like a 60% off from the sack rate or something like that? Right, because they got a 2.5.
Right.
Maybe the
You,
math is 70 to 80%.
this Pulse Burn website that Richard promotes.
Yeah.
It had this nice little thing. It said like how many X's the sack price you were, and it had it for Pulse and PulseX.
Right.
I noticed they removed it for PulseX.
Damn.
They left it for Pulse. I don't know why. I thought that's funny. Whoever makes that website, I thought that was hilarious. That made my day.
Wonderful. Can you imagine it shows negative X's or some shit?
It can't go negative, but it can turn to a very small decimal.
Right.
Because it was down to like 0.5x.
Right.
And then it disappeared. Like it got like the Putin treatment. It like
Right.
just disappeared.
Right.
Just disappeared.
The dictator just like
that metric just disappeared. Whereas for Pulse, it's still there. Yeah.
damn, down bad, you guys. But anyway, PulseX was really only above sack for how long? Like a couple days, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like a couple weeks at max, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Like we had one of the volume thing for like a week, and then it was open for like 2 more weeks, and then it was and yeah, PulseX was open for like a month or a couple of months, wasn't it? It's like 3 months it was open
For PulseX?
for PulseX, yeah.
It was open for a while until people kept sacking for it, and he's like, I'll leave it open. He closed it, and then he's like, well, people keep sacking for it. I'll give them points. I shouldn't be, but I'll give them points. But man, you guys are getting ripped off. So like, I guess it was kind of open indefinitely until it got to like a point like 9 months later or something. Like what are you like? I remember like what was it, like 4 months after the sack was over, some guy just threw in $50,000 or something. I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. I wonder whose homie told him to do that. That was a Hexican told another Hexican to do that. That was somebody who's like, oh, the sack's still open. You can throw it in, bro. The rate's going to be awesome, dude. The water's fine.
That's fucked, bro.
Yeah, not awesome.
That's fucked.
Sheesh. But anyway, man. So obviously you guys have said that basically in the next roughly 45 days, you guys are pretty much launching Famous, and then your other what was the name of the balancer fork, which is what, Flux or so? I think that's the name of it.
PHUX.
Yeah.
And yeah, PHUX. Probably, I don't know. It could be next week. It could be this weekend. It could be the week after.
Got it.
Yeah, Fiat and Fame. Probably, give or take 30, 45 days. I don't know exactly. We'll probably do Fiat first and then do Fame, but probably not a great deal of separation between them, I don't think.
Got it. Cool, man. I mean, dang. I mean, so I'm just guess. Obviously, I know you guys are gonna say we're probably people who sacked, and then people are holding tokens, probably getting coins. I would imagine. Well, who knows?
For PHUX.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just don't want to be called out for doing it slightly differently. But yeah, I'm going to look after the kind of people that you would think I would look after.
Right.
And I'm also going to be strategic.
Got it and stuff. So you're sending a majority of the coin. No. Bro, it's so easy to do jokes nowadays. Jesus Christ, man, it's funny, man. No, I will say this. I really have enjoyed that. You know, like Buck and Dylan have always been like fucking like joke cracking motherfuckers. Like it's kind of funny. Like these guys are really funny, man, in private and stuff. They're not tight asses, which is like pretty cool. I would have, you know. So what the hell was that?
I think that was Vanilla Dylan's mom.
She's like, ow. Whoa, what is that?
Is it?
It was the woman's voice. Yeah.
Dude, I paid $400 for this fucking microphone, and it keeps fucking up. I don't know what's wrong with it.
But it's okay now.
You have a microphone setting, and it goes, oh shit, dude, I love it. That's hella funny. But all right, so that the airdrop's going to happen and stuff like that. I mean, that's going to be really cool. I can't, you know, that's what I'm saying is like you guys are like properly launching stuff, and just people just like to see action, you know, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And hopefully over the next, I mean, obviously, I think in the next 3 months we're finally getting, I think, hopefully, more projects launching besides yourselves projects, and I really think when all these projects launch is when we're going to start seeing some more price movement in PulseChain and PulseX and stuff and everything else like that, just because there's money moving around and people are going to dump tokens and move money here and there, and you know that all that movement of capital ends up, you know, getting more money into the space, which is good. So
that's right.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think you know, people, the biggest lesson about investment is patience. You know, a lot of people get into investment and they think it's all about going from one end of the ship to the other. You know, that's trading. That's hard. That's, you know, but it's a lot easier just to pick things that you think are good value, that are cheap, right, and likely to have a pretty good future. So I'm excited. I think probably the next time we see you, we're gonna have, you know, pretty much the whole product suite up and running, and yeah, we're going to be talking about some, you know, pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, because you guys can do some pretty cool stuff with that balancer because I know a lot about balancer. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that will be cool. You're going to be able to trade your stables for 5 bips, which is, you know, about 4 times cheaper than PulseX. You know, so that's important.
Yeah.
You'll be able to put a bunch of, you know, up to 8 tokens in a pool. So I'm going to put all the maxi perps in a pool. You know, we're going to play this whole wrapped hex, e-hex game first. You know, we're going to let you guys decide, you know, what you think these things should be worth. I'm going to put all that shit into one pool, and we're going to let the market decide what it's worth. So yeah, no, I think it's going to be pretty exciting, and it's going to be a shit show. There's going to be lots of spectacular failures. My own projects could be one of them, you know, but there's going to be some spectacular failures over the next few months. This little hiccup we've had with PulseX isn't a big deal, but you know, I expect to see some fireworks, especially as some of the other guys come online.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident there's gonna be some bullshit. I already can tell. I could already tell already. I mean, look, none of it. Like some people, like I don't want to fight people's bags or some shit. But like, man, I've already told people. Some people have already asked me, and I've told them like, yeah, you're gonna get. we're in some trouble, you guys. But hey, it's speculation. It's speculation. Yeah. We speculated it was money that, you know, hey, it is what it is, you know.
That's
no
right.
risk, no risk, no return. That's the game.
Yes.
But I hope we're patient. Honestly, like I think it's very useful for us to go through a period of, you know, being down.
Right.
So, you know, I don't look at any of this in the long term as something that worries me. I'm over the moon that so far the network is behaving very well.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing I care about.
So
to be honest, the rest will work out, I'm sure.
So Buck, so obviously this is a really important thing. So buying and holding good assets, right? Keyword, good assets, right? But now so obviously you come from the traditional space and the crypto space. Like we have a 4-year cycle here in crypto, and then you have like, you know, a larger, usually a decade-long cycle, I would imagine, in the traditional space, right? So like before you're in crypto, right? Like what was like the waiting time when you invest into a project or invested into a company or stock or something like that, where like you finally saw return? Was it like a 4-year wait, 5-year wait, 10-year wait before it really translates into something quite substantial? Because I know the gains are a little bit different unless, you're obviously buying it at penny stock range or something like that.
Sure. So, there's trading, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Trading is when you think you've identified something that's going to be a short-term opportunity, and you go and you buy or sell something, right? Which is fine. That's trading, right?
Yep.
Investment is something that you do with the idea that you're going to basically try to hold it for a while. Now, typically what the book's going to tell you is the riskier the asset, the longer you need to be prepared to hold it. And that's because of volatility. So, if you have a term deposit, like an actual term deposit at the bank, that could be like a 30-day thing, right? That's generally considered very safe. It's FDIC, et cetera, right? Whereas growthy tech stocks, your Teslas and whatnot, they're very volatile. They're very speculative. You may buy a top in that, and it may take you a decade to get out of it.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, typically with equities, you should, be investing, they say, with like a minimum kind of 7-8 year time horizon.
Right.
I know this sounds crazy to crypto people because
it does. I ain't gonna lie, it sounds fucking wild, bro. Like you're talking some like 2 cycles.
Yeah. But I'll also say, those that 4-year cycle that you talked about.
Yeah.
I think that's not going to be a feature going forward. Crypto is in an explosive growth period.
Don't say that. Don't say that too loud, bro. These fucking Bitcoin maxis might come for you, bro, with pitchforks.
Yeah,
and shit.
that's okay.
What's happening, sir?
Dude, like
I don't care.
This is the last halving. I really have said this, like in terms of this is the last halving that matters in terms of like what it does to supply. Because like after this halving, we're at like 90% of a percent inflation. We're like under 1% inflation per year on Bitcoin and stuff. Like what does it go to, like 0.5% on the next one 4 years later? Like anyway, yeah.
That's true, but I also don't even think I don't even think that's significant enough to make a difference at this stage. Like I don't even think this one matters. Bitcoin's now worth $500 billion, so that's basically half of Florida of production, right?
These hoes ain't worth shit, bro. I'm telling you.
So like that's a pretty big number already.
Yeah.
So I would say Bitcoin's now basically captured by the larger global economy. So if
it gets engulfed by like the overall like macro trend and stuff, because I know like crypto is kind of doing, even though I mean pretty much crypto was pretty much came out at the bottom of like at the bottom of like the 2009 housing crash and stuff, and then from there the stock market went on a fucking 12-year bull run, and it really wasn't until Jerome Powell started increasing rates that like I feel like we tied into the overall space and stuff. So
yeah, well, there's 2 good reasons for that. One, we were in 10 years of explosive growth, so you see this sort of J curve with things that are runaway successes early on in their growth. So you see this with Uber, or you see this with Amazon stock or whatever, but that's not sustainable over the long term, right? So that's one reason. The second reason, crypto came straight out of Lehman Brothers. Bitcoin came out in January 2009, literally 3 months after that whole thing kind of culminated. It was pretty much the bottom of the market actually, for that bear market.
Right.
And it coincides with a decade of quantitative easing where the central banks around the world were basically going out of their way to push up asset prices, and Bitcoin's an asset. And so Bitcoin never really experienced like a rate rising cycle in its entire existence until last year. And in fact, none of crypto did. So I used to get yelled at by people in the Hex community all the time because they'd tell me, "Oh no, Hex is uncorrelated, man. It's code, it's math." And I'd be like, "Oh,
you say
I'm
math?
not sure about that." Math.
Math. Yeah. I think you said meth. Yeah, my bad.
Meth. Meth might actually explain a lot of their logic better than what the things they say. But yeah, basically what we experienced in 2022 was that actually, crypto sure as fuck is correlated to bonds. And as interest rates go up, bond prices go down.
Right.
And as interest rates go up, equity prices go down, and as interest rates go up, crypto goes down a ton. Right. And what we want ideally is to see things go the other way.
Yeah.
So back to quantitative easing, back to zero interest rates. That's what's going to actually send us flying again. And
do you think we're going
that
to go
may
back to
happen.
zero? Do you think we're going to go back to zero? Because
No,
I
no.
think we only go as low as maybe like 2.5 or 3%. Like,
Sure.
Because I think that's probably, now obviously I'm not in that space and stuff, but like I'm a big Fed fan and stuff. Been a long time since I was a kid, basically. But if I'm just, this is my speculation. I sort of think that they're dropping the rate maybe like 200 basis points sometime
Sure.
next year, and that'll be
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, we still have inflation, right? So they can't. They're not going to go to zero unless like there's negative inflation,
right.
and they're panicking about something. The two times we went to zero, right? Was basically the Lehman Brothers, right? So the whole financial system was collapsing, right? We were minutes away from like basically the end of the Western financial system, right? In 2008.
Yep.
This was back when Dylan was in
School.
elementary school.
Middle
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this feels like yesterday to me, but in any case,
I remember shaving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that there was that, and then there was the COVID lockdown.
Right.
We had so 2%, 3% is not necessarily that's kind of what people think the natural rate of inflation is on average, right? So like
It's the historical
we
average.
ideally we shouldn't really necessarily go to zero unless there's something really amiss.
Right.
And but even going from 5 down to 2 is going to push up asset prices a ton.
Yeah.
So we may start to see that.
Yeah, because I have a lot of friends of mine that like own a fuck ton of real estate and stuff like that, and they pretty much are kind of in accordance with me now that they think even real estate really bottoms out like second or third quarter of next year anyway. Because if we're only getting 2 more rate hike increases, then that pretty much mean like 9 months later it pretty much bottoms out, and then if they lower rates, then the market, because it's like there's like a bottom for a cash buyer and then versus like people trying to take a debt out.
Makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, the question is really just when do they start cutting?
Right.
I think the rates are already pretty toppy now. It's just a matter, and the market's already pricing in much lower rates. So we could be disappointed if they actually just leave them there, which they could do.
That's what I believe.
The market's already expecting that they're going to start cutting. So the yield curve's basically pointing in that direction for the latter half of this year and next year. So yeah, that could definitely turn into potentially either very good news or bad news. But that's really what's going to drive things like general asset prices.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of every once in a while we invent something new and that creates a big step change.
Surge.
So like a recent example of that would be like Uniswap, for example.
Right.
That DeFi summer stuff was a major step up for Ethereum, right?
Yeah. Ethereum was basically useless before Uniswap.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like I never fully appreciated smart contracts in 2017. I'm embarrassed to say.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, dude, that's
really
not even embarrassed to say. Like all you could do is RC20 token. That's it. And the NFTs were so fucking terrible. They were like, it was ETH Rock.
CryptoKitties,
and CryptoKitties and what like BitPunks or like CryptoPunks like that. And they were like JPEG. There were JPEG NFTs and it's like literally like 2D art. In the 21st century, it's kind of crazy. Like the NFTs in 2017, the coin, everything was vaporware, all of it. Like I think the only thing that in 2017 that was like that was actually decent that launched and shit was just Ethereum. That's about it. Like I've said 2013, right, was basically the creation of shitcoins, the 2013, 2014 era for crypto, right? Like I have something called cycle theory. My version of cycle theory is just basically we're on a 2-cycle sort of theory. So the first part of the cycle is like what flavors the second cycle, 4-year cycle. So it's like since the 2013, 2014 was all vaporware, we just got vaporware squared for 2017. Doesn't mean you don't get innovation, right? But then 2019, the 21 cycle was basically the birth of DeFi, basically. So this next cycle is like we're going to get that squared, basically. And obviously you guys were, I think Buck, you were really early on in GMX and stuff. That shit that's another like a little game changer as well. I don't think it's the same level as I would say a 0 to 1 moment like Uniswap was.
No.
But still, it's a fucking it's a huge improvement because it's pretty much spurred on because everyone trusted middlemen. So everyone was like, fuck this. I need some, to be able to trade on chain. So I know that I'm not getting rugged.
Yeah, I would say GMX is more like a continuation of the Uniswap thing.
Yeah.
It's all of that DeFi stuff. Aave, I'll throw Hex in there too. Why not? But I don't know what that next big step change will be, and it may not even be on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Right? That's. But you gotta watch out for that. But yeah, so far I'm not really seeing any real innovation, at least in Ethereum, where I'm going, oh, okay.
It's mostly going to be on gas. It's going to be on gas. That's it. Like it's just going to be throughput. Throughput upgrades is the only thing. It isn't like it's going to be like, the next one's going to be an upgrade to the basically the processing of smart contracts, because that's really the hiccup on that. They can actually handle a bunch of normal ass transactions like Uniswap or just sending. That's fine. It's all the smart contracts, and then from there, obviously you have the bots clogging shit up, right? But it's mostly like 2, 3, or 4 step contracts that are like clogging up the network and stuff, because you can only have so many in a block. So the upgrade that's coming is going to be mostly an upgrade to allow more smart contracts per block, and then from there it's going to be off of either ZK rollups to basically sharding and stuff like that, which is just basically like turning a CD into a 3D MP3 CD, basically, which is like you could have 100 blocks on one block, basically.
Yeah, or it could be a totally different protocol, altogether. It could be totally,
it's Cardano,
I don't know. Cardano, yeah. Honestly, it could be and I think that's probably a good lesson for people that are listening. It's like, diversify, because as confident as I am about Ethereum being very clearly in the driver's seat at the moment, like I also remember other similar things like AOL. America Online, or MySpace, Napster, like whatever, right? Like it just happens. Sometimes, you can't keep up with innovation, or somebody just creates something that, for whatever reason, like what's that website that app you like to use, Dylan? TikTok. Before TikTok, there was this thing called the Snapfish.
Snapchat.
Snapchat. Yeah, the Snapchat. And before that, they had in my era, they had this thing called the Facebook. And then when I was really young, we had this AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
And before that, we had this thing called I can't remember, Internet Relay Chat, IRC, right? So it's like all these things that I mentioned, had their moment where they were basically unassailable. Yeah. They looked, super, super on top, and now no one gives a fuck about them.
Could you imagine we sit here 10 years later and we're like, God damn, it was XRP the whole time. It was right in front of us. God damn. Bro, that shit.
Well, there's a good example of that, which was like in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
You had Windows 95 come out, and everybody wanted to be Windows maxi. So guys like Richard's age, like computer nerds, Richard's age, are all Windows guys, because that's where all the best video games were and all that stuff. And you didn't have Xbox, and PlayStation like the same way that you do now. Like Mac came from being and also ran like a company that was associated with 1980s success in computing, and was basically almost bankrupt by the time Steve Jobs came back, and proceeded to just do like a bunch of things reasonably well and just become this absolute fucking juggernaut.
Right.
And so that stuff can't happen. It's not my central scenario, but it's not completely unfeasible that something like an XRP or an what's ICP? That's the one that's trying to do Web3 stuff. Like something that we've all completely discredited could actually come out of the woodwork and actually be pretty good.
XLM or fucking like Yeah. Like it's there's these all these ISO 2020 whatever the fuck coins or whatever like that.
Yeah.
There's
And
that whole cohort.
it could be Solana. It
Yeah.
could be Solana.
It is the only American chain. That's a sad fact, but it's the only American chain.
Solana is.
Yep, it's the only one. It's the only one. Yeah, it's literally at Solana Beach, California. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Keep your head on a swivel, I guess. I mean, I think PulseChain has a great growth story, but as I said earlier, I think that growth story is basically the Ethereum growth story on steroids. Right. They're intertwined in a major way.
So for the guys who are watching right now, there's like 300 people watching right now. What Buck said is really important, and I think this is like keep this in the back because it's not going to be really relevant for the cycle, but it's going to be relevant for the bear market because the entire thing changes. Like right now, it's the dies. I feel like the die's already been cast outside of just a jug, like outside of like something great. It really could be like the only thing I could think of this cycle that like would shake shit up if we actually had like a real AI, like an AI chain or something like that actually was like real user friendly. That's the only thing I could think of like so far this cycle that could happen. But most of the stuff where like this, like you can actually catch on to it's usually in the bear market, right? So it's going to be somewhere in like 27, 28 when, another paradigm and we're probably investing to something else or whatever the hell it is at that point, right? But
that happened with DeFi summer, right? So those things were all massively overpriced for a while.
Yep.
Everybody got super excited. Then you had a chance to buy it a lot cheaper later. The AI stuff I think is similar. It's hot, it's interesting, but you're going to see just a lot of dog shit with AI, in the white paper.
Yeah.
But maybe there'll be one or two things there that'll just blow your fucking mind. But
it could be Shrelly. It could be Shrelly, like Martin Shrelly. The guy, the farm bro. He's like fucking going farmer bro. Yeah. He's going fucking anal, like fucking raw dogging into like AI right now, and he's like doing like he's like a part of this group where they're trying to unleash AI with no restrictions and shit. And like he was showing people how to like you could literally ask ChatGPT or whatever the fuck he was using, like how to make fucking chemical weapons and shit. And he was like, yeah, that's a little bad, but like, oh well, we're gonna release it anyway. What? So I could see because he's he's now out of jail and he's been kind of keeping up. Some of his views on crypto are pretty bad. Like some of them are good, some of them are a little like like he was in jail obviously, right? But I could actually see that guy, and he's enough of a fucking figurehead where if he launched something, it's going to be pretty successful just because the bros are following him. Just a tip.
I would run a million miles in the opposite direction of anything that guy touches, but
of course. But I mean, we got Jack Levin, and we got all these other tokens. I mean, you know what I'm saying? People like figureheads, man. I'm telling you, man. It's like this whole fucking they want to follow a fucking strong man.
Move on, Jack.
Shout out to Jack, man. X1, baby.
This is why we have Putin, people. Come on. This is why we have Putin.
Can we talk? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say Putin's little group in Russia is called the Siloviki, which basically roughly translates to the strongmen. That's what made me think of it. But you're right. People oftentimes, because they're very lazy, look for this figurehead. But that's oftentimes a really shitty way to invest. Like just because the guy's got abs and he looks good, you probably shouldn't give him $10 million.
But these abs are hard to get, bro. They're hard. So which way do I go? Do I go super ripped or just go fat as fuck? Like which direction do I go?
Don't be in between. That's
so be extreme, an extremist basically, a religious zealot.
You gotta you want to be like either like The Rock or like Chris Farley, like average dad bod. There's not a lot of demand for that.
Right, so I gotta go cum gutters basically. All right, got it. So okay, can I really want Dylan's take and your take on this. Like, so what's up with Zen? I know you guys are big. You guys are big co-founders in the Zen space and stuff like that. You guys really like Jack Levin and stuff. I just really want to hear like your guys' thoughts, right? I mean, prices are crashing. Everything's crashing right now, so it's a perfect time to talk about Zen.
Dylan went out on a date with Jack. So
wait, what?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah,
they did. They had like a romantic dinner or something like that.
Do tell, Dylan. Do tell.
Where do you think Dylan got these nice new clothes from in the
Dude, holy shit! Dude, I was even complimented this guy in the this is coming full circle.
Do you notice? Do you notice how he's glowing, Miguel? He's kind of glowing. Something kind of special.
Yo, I was like, oh, this guy's using a filter or something. Like his hair looks really nice and stuff. Well groomed and shit. Holy fuck.
Yeah, no, we had lunch while he was down here for the Bitcoin conference, and I snagged him before he drove down to Miami, and yeah, we had a chat. He talked about his things. He has a very strong view on the self-sovereignty stuff. Like,
Got it.
he really likes crypto for that reason, right? And then his whole shtick is with Zen is to just try and infiltrate as many communities as possible, and then consolidate them all with his blockchain, the X1 chain or whatever, right? That's the gist of his plan, right? And the whole free fair crypto for all and shit like that. But I don't like Zen. It's really fucking annoying to pay high gas fees. Okay, I never minted any of that shit. Didn't buy any of the stuff, didn't do any of that stuff, right? I don't like Zen. I often really enjoy fudding it in the private chats a lot, right? Because literally any sort of pump that it gets, I know plenty of people that have shitloads of Zen and they love to sell that shit. So, hey, for what it's worth, that's his views. They come from a place of, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool, but there are people that are buying your shit and they're getting fucked. So there is that too. And that's my view there. I don't like Zen.
I don't know how I missed you, Dylan. I was down there in Miami. I had no idea you were down there, dude. It's crazy. We didn't.
No, that's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. But we'll meet up at some point, man. Definitely. You guys are always invited out to Vegas for sure, man. We'll cut a rug out here.
Hey, if you come down to Miami, you let me know. I'll drive down there and we'll hang out.
Okay, I'll let you know. Because I am usually down to Miami every like two months, basically. So I am.
Okay.
I fly down there a lot.
Right on. Yeah. No, I'll stop by.
So what are your thoughts, Buck, about this whole Zen thing? Obviously, it's a real great thing.
Buck's been mistreated. He's got dumped a couple times.
You threw in, bro?
What do you mean?
You threw in the Zen?
No, not that way.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about lofty goals. There's a lot of guys, throughout history, great men, like Lenin and the Bolsheviks or Mao Zedong. There's lots of great men that write, books about philosophy and how they, how they want to change the world. And a lot of these things, sound really nice at the time. Some guy wrote a book called My Struggle, which was a bestseller in the 30s, I think. That had some kind of lofty ideas that a lot of people found interesting and compelling. But ultimately, these ideas just lead to totalitarianism and misery.
Right.
In the end. So I'm just always a little bit dubious anytime somebody tries to be a great man. If you've ever read the book Crime and Punishment, there's a guy named Raskolnikov who thinks that he has what it takes to be a truly great man like Napoleon. He just needs to go murder this woman who has all the money that he needs, and he'll be on his way to do it.
It's a solid plan.
It's a solid plan. Yeah, it's a solid plan. What could go wrong? But now switching to Zen, I think Jack has some very amazing, lofty ideals about how he wants to change the world.
Right.
And I think he's willing to do all sorts of interesting things in order to do it. Such as launch, a coin that goes down forever and kind of creates a bunch of fees on various chains. And this is part of creating his movement. And then he's been creating a bunch of shit coins, which I guess he thinks is adding to his movement.
I will say it's a tad. I'm a shitcoiner, and it's a tad hard to keep up. It
is a bit hard to keep up. And I'm not a shitcoiner, but But yeah, I guess, what can you say about any of that? I mean, on the one hand, it would be awful, except it's in the name of this really noble cause, which is what is it called, Dylan? Fair crypto? Is
Yep.
that the thing?
Something like
And yeah, so kind of like the Hegelian dialectic, Jack prophesizes that we're going to reach the end of history, and it's going to be this beautiful, perfect, harmonious, fair crypto thing called X1, which I really hope will exist someday. But I've heard Russian guys before say that they're going to take us to a workers' paradise. We just have to, kill a few million people first, and have a few pogroms, and things like that,
Right,
in the name
right.
of the revolution, right? So I'm just always a little bit dubious of people that kind of have those sorts of views. It's a very easy smokescreen
Right.
to basically do a bunch of really weird, terrible things.
So you're really
And when it gets
skeptical of
hard,
anyone from the Eastern blocs, basically.
well, I have a little bit of expertise in this space.
Gotcha.
So
Oh, right.
I'm
Actually, like, holy shit, that's crazy.
yeah, я говорю по-русски.
Mm.
So I'm actually going to be headed there in a few weeks' time, as a matter of fact.
Cool.
So yeah, yeah, I guess Zen is obviously just a marketing gimmick, and all this other stuff is him kind of entertaining himself and his followers. I hope that we get to the workers' paradise. That great end of history chain that's going to solve everything X1. I'm very excited for it. And when we get there, I will be launching Fiat and Fame and PHUX on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Breaking.
and making a ton of money for the right people that I care about while doing it. But yeah, I'm also worried that like so many other great men that wanted to get to workers' paradise, it may just never really eventuate, or it'll just kind of suck the way the Soviet Union kind of sucked.
Right.
That's kind of what I think.
Hey man, maybe you can extract minerals and resources out of that Soviet bloc country or something like that. Hey, it is what it is, man. North Korea needs Hennessy. It's it is what it is.
Well, there's great potential in Russia, right? Like tremendous potential.
Yeah.
And I imagine in 100 years there will still be great potential in Russia.
Right.
And,
isn't Russia basically built off of the entire market is cornered by a couple of guys anyways?
Oligarchs. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, in that regard, it's pretty much just like crypto.
Yeah. If you're that guy in Russia, you're making it. You're doing well.
You're out here, bro. Yeah.
You're doing well. Yeah.
So it sounds like if we do the Fiat famous Fox thing, we'll also be the oligarchs of X1. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an equal opportunity, carpetbagger. I will go make money wherever I can go make money. But at least you know that about me. I don't have any lofty goals. I'm not here to save the world. I'll leave that to the great men.
Right.
I just want to make people money, and I want to make people that support me money. That's all I want to do.
There you go.
Beautiful, man. Long E-Fiat, Fiat, famous, and whatever else you launch, I guess. Beautiful, man. No, that was a really good answer too, and stuff. Because, depending on the personality, it would have just either. I mean, I haven't met too many Zen supporters, or I've met a lot of closeted guys that are just like, yeah, I'm just minting it. Maybe one day, maybe one day.
I know a lot of Zen mentors that have a really fuck ton of supply. So that's something I'm familiar with. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I think the whole thing is a waste of time, and for now, I honestly I really do wish Jack well. I know I'm kind of teasing him, comparing him to Stalin, and Chairman Mao, but I really do wish him well, and I hope the X1 is awesome. But I think everything he's doing is just a sideshow.
Yeah.
Until then, and maybe that's a means to an end.
Was he
But
just doing this to get a job one day or some shit? Just because he made a lot of noise? Like, since he wants to be like number 21 of Google or whatever. Because I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. Just full. You know, I don't.
I'm not in the business. I'm not in the business of hating anybody.
Yeah.
I will make money off of people I don't like and off of things that I don't like. If I see an opportunity, I will go for it. Right. And I actually quite like the guy. I think he's got a few interesting opinions. He and I have recently had a rift.
Really?
But yeah. Well, he's mad at me, but I'm not mad at him.
This is the part where Buck got dubbed. Yeah.
Oh, this is the okay from earlier. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not mad at him. But yeah, he's apparently I'm living in his head because he's in a side chat like talking about me all day. So yeah, it's pretty funny because I'm like I'm not important. I'm not important. Like there's no reason why he should care who I am or what I'm doing or what I.
If you don't
think.
have haters, man, you ain't doing nothing right. Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. I got a lot of haters now too, man. Shit.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, maybe. But I hope X1's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a tumor, yet another tumor on PulseChain's ass and Ethereum's ass. Like maybe that's actually useful. We'll see what happens when we get there. Actually, it could be a tumor on Bitcoin's ass. More importantly,
he's done much better on that chain than I would say any other chain that I've seen so far on the ordinals.
Yeah. Well, and his idea to kind of go after the TVL of Bitcoin, I think sounds awesome to me. It's like, yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the same thing with Ethereum, right? So, I think like I'm very open minded about that concept. I need to actually see the thing. I was skeptical about PulseChain from the beginning. Dylan remembers, right? I'm going to be skeptical about X1 until I see it. Right. That's just the way it is.
Hey man, that's cool, man. I will say this about Jack. Like I've never met the guy. I don't think he's a bad person or anything like that. But I do think he's fucking trolling and intentionally fucking doing fuck shit. But he does seem like he rolls with the punches. But I didn't know he broke up with Buck here. That's crazy to me.
It's okay. Sometimes it happens. But he's an interesting guy. But what can you say about like Jack that so far? What can you say about Jack that you can't say about BitConnect?
Right.
It's kind of like most of it's just pretty terrible stuff, right? But I know there's a greater good that he's trying to achieve, and I hope he gets there for all of us.
You know who I've had this longest sneaking suspicion that he's going to do some shit, they launch a project or something, is like I've been seeing like Eric, like I met Eric Wall, good dude, he's a cool guy and stuff like that. He needs a drink before he loosens the fuck up. But being fucking honest, he came on a little strong when I first met him, and then when he got a couple of drinks in him, he kind of like chilled the fuck out, and it was kind of cool. But so shout out to Eric Wall. But I think that, to me it seems like that fucker's gonna come up with some project at some point. Like he's making a lot of noise right now, so that's just the preemptive. Like you make all this noise, you get the following, and then like, hey, magic, look, I'm launching something. Right.
He has the orb thing. I think that's paying his bills right now. He makes a lot of money off of that.
Taproot wizard, man. He's a closet Hexican for sure. He even said it. He says it himself and stuff. Like he's like fuck, because he's like I've been partying with these Bitcoiners and they fucking suck ass. The fucking Hexicans are the only ones that are fucking having fun. So literally the Bitcoin dude. I went to a bunch of Bitcoin parties in Miami. They weren't doing shit, dude. They're just like the chicks. Oh my god, no thank you. But then they went party with us and stuff. We took them to a bunch of events and stuff. I think I had some of my guys take them to the Maxim events and stuff that were having out there, Babes in Toyland and shit like that. Put him around a bunch of models and stuff. He was having a nice time, right? Nice. But that's the Hexicans, Hey, sorry, we're just virgins out here, Yeah.
I like Eric. I talk to him now and then as well. We've chatted in the past about when the timing's right, potentially bringing him on as like a FUD ambassador to PH products.
Oh, that's great.
I was thinking making him like the chief FUD officer. Because funny, if you're doing a product that kind of allows you to leverage or short things,
Right.
is actually like, really useful. And he said it's the only kind of product that he could really endorse, based on his viewpoint. So yeah, like I like Eric quite a bit, and I would love to work with him someday. I kind of told him like we're probably not there yet, but he's I think he's our a real gem actually. I think he's really helpful to the community by being this sort of skeptic that trolls us. He's giving us a lot of attention, and also making us better in a way, right? Like he's been critical about certain things, and like we definitely could have done those things better.
Yeah.
And and in hindsight, it's like when somebody predicts these issues and then they turn out to eventuate, you shouldn't get mad at them. You should say, okay, well, what should we be doing different now?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. That's the responsible adult thing to do. So yeah, no, and I actually think Eric's, like, in terms of most crypto people are just absolutely terrible people. Like almost all of them.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah.
But I think Eric is, not so terrible.
He's a good dude, man. He needs
he's a good dude.
He needs a couple drinks in him, and then he becomes like a fucking awesome guy. He really is. He's a good dude and stuff. I really, honestly, all jokes aside, I do like Eric Wall. He's a cool dude. Yeah. He's a much better Chris Black. Chris Black, my fucking god, bro. Some of the Chris Black does some really good posts on what he's really good at is kind of pointing out like, hey, why do these people have admin keys to something that shouldn't have admin keys? He's really good at that, so I really do appreciate that. But then he says some really retarded things when it comes to price and stuff, and like I was like, how you new to crypto? Do you know what we're doing here, right? Like it's some of that stuff there, but Eric understands those things, and he likes to troll and stuff. But with Eric, it's trolling and sort of like helpful trolling versus like Chris Black is like, some of it just seems like, wow, man, dang, dude. Not great. Yeah. But man, hey, where can people follow you guys, man?
You can follow us on Twitter. Join the Telegrams. I think most of that stuff that we usually link is in the description, isn't it?
Yep, it's in the description. I got both. I've got all your I got your Twitter. I've got all the Twitters posted there and stuff, and then there's all the chat groups from there. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, go in the description. Go in the Telegram. Ask some questions. Ask how to use this stuff. Be ready, right? There's going to be some pretty gnarly volatility here once PulseX V2 goes live on mainnet.
Right.
That could be an opportunity for you guys. Be ready, right?
Yep.
Go ask questions. Be ready. I did very well on launch because I was ready, right? I spent a lot of time on testnet and was very ready for launch. And hey, this is another opportunity that is kind of falling in everyone's lap. So hey, keep an eye out for that volatility. Follow us on Twitter at BB_trippin. That's mine. Famous Crypto at Famous Crypto with a PH for Buck and everything like that. So but yeah.
I would say make sure you're looking at our Twitter stuff this week.
Yeah.
There are things that are going to happen this week that we're going to announce that you'll want to know about and you'll be wanting to pay attention to. And time might be of the essence for some of them.
Got it.
So it's a very important week to be watching our Twitter handles, in particular PHUX given, which you can phonetically read Fox given on Twitter.
I just been calling it Flux because I'm like, man, I ain't gonna say that.
Family friendly.
Well, definitely, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us and stuff. My next show is at some point, probably next week, I would imagine. I just came out of the depths just to shit talk a little bit, and then obviously have these lovely gentlemen here and talk about this because I think it's really important. Some serious stuff's about to happen in the ecosystem and stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll probably catch you guys next week. Peace.